What's up, everybody? It's me, Fresh Mike, with my man Protocol
What
riding,
it is,
and
world.
what it is. I'm sorry. We are live for the first ever Rumble on Rumble. You may have tuned in and saw us last week talk about it, and I just wanted to introduce the show, the brainchild. This is Rumble on Rumble. What we want to do is kind of either give you takes you're not getting anywhere else on stuff that's going on. In the media, the news, the hot topics, or we want to talk about the stuff that why isn't anybody talking about it? There's a lot of news that just goes untalked about on both sides of the aisle, and even in the alt news internet spheres that we roll in, and people just aren't talking about it. So we need to we want to talk about that and do that. So, sorry, I'm having a little bit of issue with my Rumble here. So, sorry, let me hit save changes, see if we're rolling, and we are rolling. All right, keeping it going. I want to introduce my man, which most of you already know him. We'll just start with him, and then we'll swing it back to me, and we'll go from there. My man Protocol. For those of us that are just tuning in live and learning about you for the first time, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh man, well the name says it all because my name is my name. But I'm Protocol. I'm from the Seaport, Savannah, Georgia. For those who don't know what the Seaport is, Savannah, Georgia. Uh, man, I'm a DJ. 17 years in the game. I've been in radio 17 years. I've been in this politics thing, or at least in the politics sphere. I've been around it. My uncle was the mayor of my city at one point in time, for a few years. But I really got heavy in it in like the last 6, 7 years, just full involved. Excuse me. No, probably a little longer than that. Because when was Obama? 2008. Crap.
Yeah.
So I think 2012 is when I got full in, and then 2014 is when I learned about Operation Fast and Furious, and it was just on. It was just on from there. Like I started digging in and find out what's going on. So I offer the hot takes, the kufi on tights as we call them, over in the nation, and yeah, man, I just dig deep, try to make sure that I'm knowledgeable on what I speak on. If I'm not, I learn about it and I just go hard. I say the things that some people are just scared to say. So, if you have very faint ears, you might want to be scared. You might want to say a prayer or two for the words that may come out of my mouth. These are the words of me and me alone. If someone happens to co-sign them, God bless them for being on the real side. And that's just pretty much where it is.
Heck yeah. You are the most amazing tightrope walker, man. You are okay. So, for those of you
Tightrope
that,
walker.
yes, because here's the thing: for those of you that don't know, my man has very strong conservative leanings with his political views, but he's also very pro black, right?
Hmm.
And we'll be honest about that, which most conservatives are not. Let's just be real about that. Nor are leftists either. But just being real is like all the conservatives want black people into their party until they have to understand a pro-black stance, and then they're
Yeah.
not so much interested. And all the liberals, want a pro-black stance until a conservative view comes around, or you step outside of their worldview. And so in the middle, there's protocol. And I think there are millions of folks just like you out there, or me kind of understanding where you're at it and truly believing that the way we get better as a nation is to hey, Amy Hall, she
What's
needs
up,
that
Miss
shout out.
Amy?
Anyway,
Mark
Mark
Jones, what's
Jones,
up, bros?
Mike Jones.
That's my dog, man. That's my
I love
dog.
that.
Anyone
Yeah.
who's interested in, excuse me, purchasing a pew pew, if you like pew pew life, then holler at my dog, Mark Jones. You can get at me, and I can direct you where to go in the city of Savannah. But that's my dog. I actually got my first concealed carry from my dog. So,
Nice.
just interesting
Heck yeah.
enough, it's actually sitting behind me. I didn't upgrade it, but it's still with me.
It's man, it's your responsibility as a man. I was thinking about
Goddamn
that.
right.
Quick side note. There's a show that was on for a quick minute, and it just came out this year, and it was like they took the best of like Alone, Survivor, Naked and Afraid, and they all put them on an island, right?
Mhm.
And so you had some of the best survivalists in the world, right? Where naked and nothing, and they can live for 30 days. And then you had like two people that were fighters. One was from American Ninja Warrior, and this other chick, I forgot what fighting show she was on, but they were not survivalists. And the sad fact is, at the very end of the game, the survivalists all got their ass kicked, and it was the people that could fight that were just taking their resources. Because the way the game worked, you could actually meet in a ring and call for a battle, and you could take people's resources. Yeah. And the two people that could fight, they had no survivalist skills whatsoever, but they took everything from the survivalists. And I'm like, that's where weapons come in. That's where teaming up and taking over the two strongest people come in. And when you take that away, you know what I mean? It's just, but the other people will dwindle and die anyway, because they couldn't figure out past that flint, you know, and past this and that, how to survive. Anyway, long story short, that's when I realized how powerful, important guns are. And the fact that Samuel S. Colt was a man that stood 4'9" tall, you know what I mean? And they say Billy the Kid weighed maybe 9,500 pounds, you know? So, yeah.
You got to even it wherever you can even it, man. And that is the great equalizer.
It is. So also it's all right, man. And, you know, love it or hate it, man. At this point, when they come for us, they are coming with guns. And, you know, unless you can, you know, match equal or greater force, you lost, period. That's just ugly truth, right?
It's the ugly truth, man. Ugly truth.
Ask a lion.
This good old Southern sweet tea, man. I don't know
Absolutely.
how y'all sweet tea is over there.
I'm on some True North pure energy seltzer, man. When you don't drink alcohol anymore and you used to drink a lot, you'll drink all the nasty shit. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, it's not alcoholic. Let's go. So that good sweet tea. Yeah. But yeah, man. So that's the deal. We're probably going to make you mad. If you're listening, thank you so much. We're here to challenge the narrative. You know what I mean? We're here to talk about what's not talked about. We may not always agree, and you may not always agree with us, but that's the thing, man. We're here to rumble. And anybody that wants a piece, drop it in the chat. We might call some people out, see if they want to come on and debate later on, but I don't think they will. I think we're going to have a hard time getting them on. I wouldn't fuck with us.
I think somebody will. Somebody's going to have the balls to do it. And you know what? I welcome that. You know, I like to be challenged, right? That's the only way you can get better in what you do, man, is to be challenged. Like if you're cakewalking everything through the wind, then it's nothing. And if you don't take any losses, then you're not learning anything, right? Because losses are true lessons. You know, you learn what you did good and what you did bad, and then you do some tweaking and you go back at it and hopefully you prevail. And if you don't, then you tweak some more and you go again. So
absolutely.
That's why I feel about, you know, Georgia losing yesterday. Like, I hate that we lost, right? But, you know, now we learn. Stupid. Pass the ball. You know, the run game isn't working. The pass was working. Pass the ball.
That's how OU lost to Kansas, man. They went up 14 on us quick. Clearly an inferior team. However, we decided to let our quarterback throw 14 times, you know, through the whole game and prove to them that we were the tougher team. And all of a sudden, at the end of the game, they have more points than us. So, yeah, it was a brutal year for OU, which I love this because it allows us to dovetail into the first topic I wanted to talk about, where we're not 100% in agreement. And that's speaking of losses and learning. Your boy learned a lot this year because he took a lot of L's, and that is Neon Dion. Everybody forgets he was the one. Neon Dion must be the money. He had his jam come out.
Mr. Primetime.
And yeah, Primetime Deion Sanders, and his coaching job he did with Colorado University this year. And here's where I stand on it. All in. Great father, bad coach. Period. You know what I mean? I think that he is doing superhero level father job. Every father, I think, in the world, if their son showed some real legit talent, would go on to be their head coach and take care of them and mentor them and get Tom Brady to give them private lessons and ride them all the way up to help them with their NFL and mentor them in an NFL career. Absolutely. No shame in the game there. But when you don't know the names of your defensive players, right? If you are not heavily involved, or it becomes about you and what a great coach you are, and you're putting rappers in the room, and it no longer becomes about getting an education, then you lose a lot. And I hate the fact that it's culturally somehow wrong to call him out for what he's not doing right, and what I don't see him correcting, because now he's on you got to spend money if you want the players. Well, I understand that. But before he was like, it's not about the money. It's about an education and developing and molding young men. And now he's like, well, if you want us to win, we got to spend money. It's not that I disagree, but there's got to be some accountability somewhere. Anyway, that's all I'll say about that right now. What's your thought?
Well, as I said, before, I can agree 95% of the way, right? As
Right.
a father, that's what you would want to do, right? You would want to give the best that you can for your son. If you can help your son, if you have the resources that he has, you can pick up the phone and call Tom Brady. He picks up like, "Hey man, what's up, Dion? Like, yeah, I want my son to get some private lessons. Yeah, sure. Send him down to Tampa, send him to Miami. I'm here. I'll meet you up in Colorado. Like, that's what you would want to do, right? So I have no qualms with that. What I feel like, even with the losses, in the 4-win season, I mean, what did they have last year? 1 win, right? So you improved from, you got 3 extra wins than what you had last year on your first year as a coach with this team, right? They have no gel, right? LeBron and them, when LeBron and Dwayne, when they created the super team, right? I don't believe they won the first year. They had to mesh. They had to get together. They had to create a type of bond. And from there, they became dominant. I do believe that as they move forward, I think they'll create that bond. I think they'll mesh, and I think they'll do better. I think they'll do way better. I see next year they may have a 600 year. I don't. I see them be going beyond 500. I think they'll have a 600 year next year. He went and got the great Warren Sapp, to be over their defense. That's Mr. Defense right there. So now you got him getting in these guys' heads and teaching them how to be great defensive players. I think, along with that and other key parts that I know he'll bring in, I think they'll get better. Um, he's coming in with players and a mindset of small ball from HBCU, right? You got HBCU D1, which is completely different compared to Pac-12, D1. Like, that is a whole nother scale. You're talking about, offensive linemen, defensive linemen with 50, 60, 100 pounds more than the lineman that you were playing before. You have his son, who's the quarterback, right? Who passed more than he's ever passed in his life. He also got sacked more than he's ever been sacked in a single season in his life, right? Like, last season, he was sacked something like 35 times, I want to say, something like that. And then in the year before that, it was like 20, 30 times. And then this year, you get sacked like 52 times. Like, you got sacked in one season as much as you did your first 2 years playing college ball, right?
But whose
You're,
fault is
I don't think it's anyone's fault, right? It's the nature of the game in which he's now playing in. You know what I'm saying? When you elevate, you're going to get more pressure, if you would, right? As you elevate, you're going to get those people. Like, you're playing in HBCU ball, people who more than likely aren't going to make it to the NFL. I'm just going to be totally real with you, right? They're probably not going to make it to the NFL. Smoke, what up, dog? Smoke sitting in the building. They're not going to make it to the NFL. Now he's playing with guys who are definitely being looked at and making it to the NFL. So they're playing with a different tenacity. They're playing with a different football IQ, if you would. They have different training. The training leagues, when it come to, or the training regiments rather, when it comes to that D1 ball in the Pac-12 or the SEC or the ACC, is way different than the training that you're going to get in a SWAC or in a SIAC or in a MEAC. So, they're learning that. They're getting that in. I think this year, this was those growing pains. I do believe, and I don't think we'll get away from this, it's prime time, right? He needs to get the hell out of the spotlight. I think that his problem overall is the same problem that many people attribute to Trump. Stay your ass off of Twitter. Stay out from in front of the camera. Leave that alone. Focus on your team. You brought up a great point. Outside of Hunter, can you name anybody else on your defense? You know what I'm saying? And he's nameable because he's just like Dion was. He's both sides of the ball player. You know what I'm saying? He plays offense and he plays defense. So, of course, that's somebody who's near and dear to his heart that he's going to pay special attention to. But you got to know the rest of your players. And your play calling has to get better. If you see that the pass isn't working, put it on the ground. Use your running back. right? Use your halfback if you have one. Use your tight end. Don't just consistently throw because you want to pad your son's stat. You want to be a good dad, but you also want to be a great coach as well. So, that's where I'm with that. I think that they're going to grow. I think that this year was a learning curve, and I think next year they'll come out way better. I'm looking at a 700, 600, 700 season for them next year.
Do you think he'll stick around after Shador goes to the NFL?
No.
Okay, you think he'll retire after that, basically?
No, I don't think he's going to retire.
You think he'll go to another school to coach?
No, I don't even think he's going to go to another school. I
He-
think he's going to go to whatever team that he goes to.
Okay, maybe.
And-
Yeah. Makes total sense.
Because there was a
Honestly,
video.
man, I think Shador's going to get a big enough bag that he just
Mhm.
can be an agent. Because then he's got his other son who can go in and he can be an agent for 2-star players. They're going to make enough friends that he
Right.
can build his roster. And honestly, I think he would make a much better agent than head coach. I would love for him to be because if you see him coming, there's not a lot you can do. And also, just that little side note that we got to throw in there to bring more power back to the people that might be more representative of the players than the redacted folks who are running the agency side of the NFL now. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm one of the few kids I watched. Jerry Maguire was inspired, right?
Mhm.
Like I was inspired. I'm a born salesman, born talker. I was inspired. I was like, that's what I love. I'll never forget the scene when he's trying to get homeboy, Willie Beeman. No, that was Any Given Sunday. I can't remember the name.
Sunday. Yeah.
Cuba Gooding in that, but he's like, I will have you eating your own breakfast cereal, wearing your own shoe, making the most money ever in the NFL on your own commercial with your own TV show coming up,
Mhm.
and I will not sleep until that happens. And I thought that was brilliant. So
It was.
Anyway.
And that's a Dion, that's a Dion way of thinking, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And it would be good for him to do that, but he's trying to get to the NFL. Like there was a scout from the Atlanta Falcons that came to their practice and was looking at him play. And he told him straight up, both my boys, if you look at one, you look at the other, they're both coming together. So whatever team, Falcons, you're here, I want you to know you're going to take both boys. And anybody else that's looking, you're going to take both boys. And I'm coming with them. So it's like he's definitely on some, hey, I'm going to the NFL with my boys and I'm going to make sure they're on the same team. So, could
shout
we
out
see
to Dion.
some barbers? Could we see the resurface of the barbers with a little bit of LeVar Ball?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Oh man, and they'll get a reality show quick. He already has like he's got that not not to call out my socioeconomic level, but on Freevee, he has a show.
Really?
He has like a documentary. Yeah. Oh, Freevee's bomb, man. You got to check out some Freevee, man. There's
I
this
will.
really cool Freevee show about this all black British jazz band that gets accidentally transported back to the 1920s and they're playing jazz in the 20s. It's I know, right? Like what? But that's what I'm saying. Freevee gets, because nobody watches them, so they get to do crazy stuff. So anyway, gotta check
Tubi's
it out.
getting all the thrills now.
Yeah, Tubi's got too much commercials, man. Freevee's still not as bad. So, and honestly, man, just go to My Flixers and you could pretty much watch anything in the world for free. So, but you got to use Brave because the pop-ups on Google are awful. All right, let's keep it rolling on the actual topics, man. This is what I love about you, man, is that I can talk to you deep about real stuff and then we can just talk. So, what up, by the way, Anticon Conspiracy Channel checked in. What up? Nice to see you, sir. Is that Anti-Conservative Conspiracy Channel?
No, that's Anti-Conspiracy Channel.
Oh, rock on. Sorry, man. I smoke too much.
Okay.
But
I feel your pain, bro.
Speaking of conspiracies, man, and getting deep, I wanted to hit this kind of early so we can move on because I really hate this topic. I really, really do, but I think that we have to deal with it. Especially given the beautiful situation I get to be in, where I get to talk to you and I get your specific viewpoint, which is going to be honest and different from just about anybody else out there. And that's the George Floyd documentary that just came out that everybody's talking about, called The Fall of Minneapolis, I believe. And it really one-sided, I think would be the best way to kind of initially describe it. Is there good information in there? Um, there's honest information. There's more of the video, right?
Hmm.
So you get that. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I think information's always good, love it or hate it. But I think that the thing is extremely one-sided. And when you find out that the producer, her husband is a former police officer for Minneapolis, and so he, definitely is going to back the blue. And once
Hmm.
again, I'm not making an opinion on whether that's a bad or a good thing. I think if I was a cop, I would hold cops down too, right? It's just what you do. But I don't know, man. I think that it's just dark, and I think that no one is addressing the larger topic at hand here, which is poor response times, poor training, kind of an inherently racist way, or just kind of classist, whatever you want to call it, just kind of an inherently othering way we treat
Hmm.
cops versus citizens. Um, Anyway, man, God, I hate it, but I feel like we need to talk about it because it's important. You know what I mean? This is responsibility. But I know you watched some of it yourself,
I did.
and I would really like to get your thoughts and opinion on that, and then kind of what and kind of how that mixes in, and your feelings on all of that.
So I made it through what I could make it through because it was biased. Like it was just heavily cop bias, right? It's like I'm going to make up every excuse that I can show, right, about cops and the way that they handled this and why they handled it the way that they did. And it's like, don't absolve yourself, guys, of the screwed up things that you did when handling this situation, right? Yes, he may have been on whatever drugs that he was in. He was completely erratic, as these new videos, these body cam footage is showing. The man was erratic. The man seemed like, there was definitely some things off in his head. And just from the initial walk up, you know what I'm saying? Hey man, what you doing? And then within, I don't know, 30 seconds of the cop being at his window, you know what I'm saying? The gun is drawn and it's like at his head, and it's like, dude, where's the conversation? You're cursing, you're yelling, there's a gun at this man's head. How do you expect him to react? Like, did you think he was going to bow down? Now he's going to be even more erratic because holy shit, I'm about to get my head blowed off and I'm really scared. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what's going to happen. And he does seem like he is mentally thrown off. They said in the autopsy that he had all types of drugs in his system. Well, if he had all these types of drugs in his system, clearly, clearly he's going to be thrown off because we know people who take meth, people who ingest crack, their mental space isn't, as coherent as someone who just smokes weed or someone who just drinks alcohol. You know what I'm saying? There are some cells that are truly damaged up there. So I think that, the way that they responded in that situation was just fucking horrible. Just call it what it is. I think the cops were too gung ho. They were cussing and yelling and all the other foolishness. And it's like, dude, you don't have to do that. This is a human being, right? You should want to. If you see this guy acting erratic and your mission is to get him in custody, you should want to scale back. You should want him calm so you can get him in the back of the car, so you can get him to the jail safely. Or, hey, we're calling a paramedics. You want to calm him down so that you can get him to the paramedics so he can get the help that is needed. Um, Everybody's like, oh, well, he didn't die from asphyxiation. It was the drugs in his system and it rushed to his heart. It's like, well, you caused his heart to race. So whatever he did ingest, you caused it to rush through his system faster. So I don't care what you say about you not being at fault. You were at fault. You could have truly de-escalated this over a fake $20 bill. I mean, newsflash, all $20 bills are fake. I mean, just by nature. It's not
Right.
backed by gold anymore. It's just a piece of paper that says, hey, I promise you that this is worth whatever debt that I'm clearing with you.
Yeah, they name one situation where a cop puts a gun in your face, where all of a sudden you feel calmer, you feel
I didn't
more
say nothing,
relaxed,
sir.
you
I'm
feel
telling you
more
the truth.
cooperative. Like what?
Never.
Also, if you're a good cop and your job is to quote unquote make arrests and get the trash off the streets, wouldn't it be more effective? Because no offense, but you could have got a guy with lots of priors on passing, on counterfeit, on petty theft, on drug possession, and you would have quote unquote got the trash off the street. He wouldn't be dead. You know what I
Right.
mean? And you could have done a good job as a cop at least. And then, who knows? Maybe he could have got into a program. Who knows, man? I'm not saying he was a good human being. I don't know,
No.
but
Well,
I do know that he shouldn't have been treated the way he was treated.
right.
That's
And
what I
no
think.
one deserves that treatment, man. No one deserves until they deserve that treatment, right? Like you should always go into the situation, especially when you're there to protect and serve, right? You should go into it with the mindset is, hey, I'm trying to protect everyone that's around, right? I want this to be as de-escalated as possible, as calm as possible, so that this person who I'm looking at as a perpetrator isn't harmed, so that no one around us is harmed, and so that I'm not harmed. Because they all say that, all cops think that I'm just trying to get home to my family safety. Well, I think everyone wants to get home to their family safely. No one wants to have to prematurely put any loved one in the ground. Period.
Amen.
Excuse me. Period. So I think that there's a lot to be said about cops. I think there's a lot to be said about cop sympathizers, right? Because now I find it funny that the same people who were all pro back the blue, during this situation and prior, now within the last couple weeks, we've had the release of the J6 footage to where, you see the cops up at the Capitol who are shooting canisters into the crowd, who are shooting people indiscriminately with rubber bullets. You're seeing people with holes in their face from the rubber bullets and stuff. Now people are like, "Oh, man, these cops, how could they do such a thing? They agitated." No, we've been telling you guys this is what they do. They agitate situations, but because it wasn't you on the receiving end, it was back to blue. I don't want to hear it, whatever the case may be. Now that you're on the receiving end, man, how could these cops do such a thing? No, I mean, we've been telling you they can do such a thing. You just didn't want to see it. So, I think a lot is really trying to, so lack of better words, whitewash the situation when it comes to cop treatment and the whole George Floyd situation. Um, but it's not going to work with the J6 situation. It's definitely not going to work with recently, which I found so funny that this documentary came out. I think we talked about this briefly. This documentary comes out right as he gets shanked in prison, like by a FBI informant, no less, right? So, because at first, like my whole thing has been, Chauvin gets shanked in prison. First of all, he's a cop in jail, so we already
Yeah.
know how people feel about cops who are in jail, right? So he's locked in this prison.
Go figure. They're not fans.
Not at all. But what beef could he have had outside of being a cop since he's got in prison? Like he could have any type of beef, and we're in prison. We're not there, so anything could have happened. He could have, told someone, yeah, I'm gonna tell a guard to come in here and F you up, whatever the case may be. But I'm still one of them. And Wes was like, oh, all right, cool. I'm gonna get you. And that was how I was looking at it until I found out dude was a FBI informant. So now I was like, who sent you? Like, did Langley make a phone call?
Man, speaking on that, that's what is blowing my mind more than anything. The deeper I dig is the psyops on the Republican side or the right side. There's
Hmm.
so many side. I mean, the problem we deal with psyops on the other side, letting if you have any conservative viewpoint whatsoever, you're trash.
Hmm.
And then on our side, you have things that you think, oh, they just jump, Bud Light, for instance, when it did the thing, and then everybody was all mad at Bud Light for sponsoring UFC until somebody was smart enough to go, wait a minute. They just gave, the guys who walk with Trump out to the ring, which, by the way, forgive me, man. I'm like, I wonder if this is just my whiteness or my conservativeness or just my southernness. But when Trump, Dana White, Kid Rock, and Tucker Carlson in New York City walked out to the ring and they got a standing O and the place lit up, I was proud inside. I was
Proud.
proud to be an American, So,
It's
but
like,
just so you know,
yes.
Cowboy, Kid Rock's Cowboy is my karaoke song to go to. You know what I mean? I'm
Okay.
packing up
Okay.
my game and I'm going to head out west where real women come equipped with scripts and fake breasts.
You
So,
know
but
what?
anyway,
I'm
it's
gonna
a
do that next Saturday. In
great song.
in honor of you, we're gonna do karaoke next Saturday at my meeting, and I am definitely doing that. Cowboy Kid Rock.
Mad Night
Normally I
is a
go with
sweet
Panic at the
song.
Disco, but
Yeah.
I'm there.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And my other one is Hard to Handle, Black Crows.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, little thing, let me that lights it up too. But anyways, we'll talk karaoke later. We're trying to get deep. But anyway, golly, what did I was just proud of that moment, is the simple thing there, but the psyops. And you go in and you realize so much of this stuff is Republicans working against Republicans, which I think maybe not necessarily in order, but I'd love to talk about it. I just kind of dug into it today, and that's the whole Santos Gates thing going on. Were you able to look into that at all?
I looked at it briefly. I'm Republican. I'm that, since I have to claim a party or whatever in this whole thing, I am a Republican. I'm conservative minded. I'm more I have a lot of libertarian views, I guess, in a lot of things, but they want just a little too much freedom and liberty, which I understand freedom and liberty, but it's a little too much for me. Like, I know one that's like, yeah, I pray to unicorns, and I was like, oh, really? Okay, to each their own. It's a little too liberty for me. Like, it's like the children of the flowers, type thing. So, but Santos and Gates, I'm not a fan of neither one of them. Right? I like Gates for the
See, that
things that he
surprises
does.
me. Yeah, I
Yeah,
figured
you
you'd be a
like,
Gates guy. Yeah.
yeah, like speaks on some good things. I'm happy about that, but there's been some questionable connections that has come up on Gates that I'm just like, not a good look, my guy. Not a good look at all. And Santos, there's been
But look,
some.
okay, in his look, this is one of those stop making me defend blank, right? When you hate to defend somebody, but you kind
Yeah.
of go, all things considered. Okay, so we've got a president of the White House that blatantly lied and said at 9:12 he was at the base of the towers. We know was a lie. He
Hmm.
said his father and him observed two men kissing, and he goes, "Daddy, what's that?" And that man looked at him and said, "That's love, boy." I can't. He literally said that shit, and I can't say it with a straight face because we have tons of video of him in the '80s going, "There'll be no gay marriage,"
There'd be no
right?
gay marriage, right?
He acts like he's the white MLK, but then it slips out when not every so often, not once, but whenever the man has an opportunity to slip and show some kind of way about himself, from calling LL Cool J boy to saying you ain't
Hmm.
black if you don't vote for me, to saying they're not bad people, they just want what whites have, on and on and on and on, right? And so you
Hmm.
got that guy, then you have Miss Pow Wow Chow, which is connected to Oklahoma. So we're pretty salty about that bitch. But you have
Hmm.
Miss Pow Wow Chow up in there. Then you have blatant, people, federally charged felons that have admitted to it and had to pay fines and even do jail time.
Hmm.
But Santos said he was a girl volleyball player and we got to get him out. It's like, come on, man. Where's the?
So it's deeper than the girl volleyball player,
I know, I
but
know, I
yeah,
know, I
there's
know.
some
He's not a good guy.
there was some money things that he did. There was some way that he handled with campaign finances. I think there was like some drag queening he may have done that came
But
out
that,
like, and that's fine. You do as you do. But what I'm saying is, don't parade an hour. Like, if you know this is what we're against,
right. Yeah,
do not come over here with it, because
that's
then
fair.
you're going to force me, like you said. I hate to have to defend you, and I don't want to defend you, like, I'm not going to, like, dude, that's screwed up. You need to leave.
I
Oh,
think
the campaign
that's fair.
finance stuff, you need to leave. They're coming at you. You need to step down. Like, you're
E-
making us look bad, bro.
Even at the risk of losing control of the House for Republicans would be the question there.
I mean, you're going to lose it anyway if they kick you out, right? The honorable thing to do is to step down. You're
Right.
going to have a special election. Make sure that whatever district that is, there is a viable candidate who passed the smell test to replace you or to replace him.
Right.
In whatever county or counties that he represents, that's their job, is to make sure that the people know there's a viable candidate and get them out. They came out the first time. And that's the problem with Republicans, you know? All I have to do is come out, put on a MAGA hat, say I love Trump, and oh my God, they're going to flock to you. You know,
So
despite what do you have going on, that's all you have to say, and they're going to flock to you. But if you find the right person who can help get the policy through that is likable within the people, it's a special election. So all you have to do is get your Republicans out, and you can win easily because it's hard to get people to the polls in special elections. It is. So if you can get your people energized, hey, listen, we got to keep control. We need to get these things passed. You guys come on through. You're going to, I mean, when did Santos go in there? Did he go in
last year.
22?
Yeah, this is his first term. Yeah, they got him out quick.
This is first term, right? He
Yeah.
only has 2 years anyway.
Yeah.
His election is every 2 years. So we're going to be having to vote for him anyway, right? We're going to have to vote for him anyway. And he was going to be on the ticket in 24. He was going to be on the 24 ticket.
Well, that was supposedly the play, is that he could stretch it out long enough to where, so
it wasn't going to happen, man. They were going to team up, and make it happen. You had a Republicans who feel like, I feel like, dude, you shouldn't even be here. I don't know why you're here. You got to go. And then the Democrats were definitely going to, go in to put them out. That's just what they were going to do. My thing is what we should be doing. Jamal Bowman ass needs to go, right? We're talking about Santos, who lied on paperwork and who stole money. Okay, he's got to go. But this guy, Jamal Bowman, literally pulled the fire alarm to stop a vote from happening. That is interfering with federal process. And that's the same thing that we have. I got friends right now who are sitting in DC jails for years for the exact same thing that he did. Interfered with the process.
And I will tell you right now, love me or hate me, like me, want to be my friend or not, that is pretty much the sole reason Trump will get my vote, is because he's promised to pardon pretty much everybody, or at least give them a fair sentence for what they did. And that to me is combined with the summer of love, you know what I mean? And combined with all the hell, a lot of really just good, average, even non-political folks who lived in the wrong place or were in the wrong place at the wrong time. Combined with all of that, and nobody being held accountable and actually turning it into a fundraising organization for the left. Because of that, I will vote for Trump, just because to me, it's one of the biggest injustices in the history of America on a personal American level, that you would do this to people, whether I agreed with them or not, which I happen to in this case. But whether I agreed with them or not, you don't throw people in solitary and rot them and deny them right to fair trial, and on and on and on. So yeah,
just because you hate them politically. But that's what,
exactly. Or ignore them because you agree with them, but it's inconvenient for your message, which is a whole nother thing we can get on. But once again, that's why I'm voting for Trump, because honestly, most Republicans don't like him. You know what I mean?
They don't. Then I don't even take them. I don't know. People say that there are, they're real Republicans. They're just showing their face. I don't think they're real Republicans. I think that that's the established party that they have some kind of control in, or they can have some control in. So they're just using it as the vehicle that they can use. But we can literally kick them out the car. Like, there's nothing saying that we cannot kick them out the car. We just have to be pointed, methodical, and very strategic, if you would, in getting them out. Explaining what it means to be a conservative, explaining what our policies are, getting people to understand that, having people who can voice that opinion, and then get on the ballot and run. and have people stand up. And I tell people all the time, dude, if we're a political party, then damn it, let's throw parties. You know, you are like me, you're in the entertainment business. Like, it is very easy to get people to come to parties. Very easy to get them to come to parties. You get them in the party, and then once you get them inside there and they're turning up their party, you have a good time. Woo, yeah, you having a good time? Yeah, all right, cool. Guess what? Open bar at the moment. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have a little quick conversation. Oh shit, he just said open bar. Like, and then just talk
Go.
to them. And then they're gonna remember you. That's just like the Democrats, man. Democrats win because they're out there with these NGOs that are giving out turkeys and giving out chickens, and they're making sure they're in the place to be, and they're shaking hands and kissing babies, and people remember that. And when they go to the polls, they press that button. So if we do the same thing, kiss some babies, shake some hands, give out some turkeys, give out some business information, show people how they can start their LLC, get their EIN, and get this here information so you can get some money. Like, people be like, oh shit, they're really trying to help me. You know, like,
Yeah,
damn, all right, cool.
I've said often, man, if I, which maybe we want to think about, publish an easy 12-page book called How Black People Get Rich in America. And
Mm,
then you outline basic business conservative principles of start a small business. If you can't get an investment, I'll be honest, start with a multi-level marketing or something. Start
mm-hmm.
with somebody that will give you a commission on something you sell, that you don't have to leave your day job. You don't have to lose 401k or even, your monthly bills covering job. But in your off time, you can throw a party. You can meet up with people. You can have a product that is valuable. Or if you're lucky enough to have a little land or to have somebody in your family that's in business, you go and you mentorship under them. You work with them. You ask them
Mm-hmm.
information, whether it be a CPA or a plumber or a computer sales or a pawn shop owner, whatever the case. Um, because business principles kind of apply, right?
Right.
So skills don't always transfer, but business principles apply. And so, somebody doing anything, labor cost is labor cost, right? Rent is rent, electric is electric, taxes are taxes. The quickest way I feel for anybody to get rich, specifically a smaller group of folks, is by building their own small businesses, building financial independence, and learning how taxes work, learning how business works, not looking at money as just your means of survival, your kind of like water, in lack of a better way to say it, meaning if I don't have it, I die, and I've got to have it. So I've got to kind of do what's told of me or figure out a way to get it. But look at money as a product, as its own thing. And you can use it to invest. You can, you know what I mean? You can use it to
Mm-hmm.
negotiate. You can borrow against value, that kind of thing. Um, just a simple 12-page booklet like that. And you hand it out to people who aren't political at all, but at
Mm-hmm.
the end, you're like, if you want to know more about this, Senator so-and-so, so-and-so, here's a link, the platform is this.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be hard. And you make it to where it's impossible to argue with, okay, well, these are the tried and true business practices. And then you go, well, there's one party that actually stands against every single one of these things. Check box by check box by check
Right.
box, right?
Right.
And then you're like, oh, well, these other people, if I follow this, I could be rich and I wouldn't, or I could at least be financially independent. I know a lot of folks that would give their left arm to make 150 a year owning their own business. And they would
Mm-hmm.
work way harder to do that, right? So anyway, that's always been a thought of mine. You hit that up, and you show people that some basic business conservative principles work, and they work for all communities, specifically smaller communities with less investment money. And boom, you got them. You got people that are like, I will vote for those, whether I
Right.
like this guy or not. I will vote for those principles. So,
And that's
yeah.
all it's about, man. Getting them to understand those principles, man, and letting them know the person who stands with those principles, and then holding their feet to the fire,
Yeah.
taking it
Yeah.
wherever they are, riding them, catching them when they're in town, making sure they're doing what you put them there to do, as they campaigned and told you they would do. And if they don't do it, get them out of there. Try again. Get the person who is actually saying, "Hey, I'm going to get in there, and I'm showing you on the ground that I'm doing this," and see what they do. And if they do right, keep them in there. And if they don't, get them out of there. We see it all the time in
What's your
sports,
opinion?
man.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's, yeah. quarterbacks. Whew. But anyway, man, my fantasy football year has gone so bad. I don't even look till like Tuesday morning just because it's just, man. Okay, so I did the thing, right, where I did the strategy of draft all-star running backs because everybody goes after wide receivers. But you
Hmm.
got 3 or 4 of those lining up almost every play. You only have most of the time one great running back. So,
Hmm.
look, beginning of the season, I got Alexander Madison drafted, got a big check to start for the Minnesota Vikings. I got my man Jacobs, right? With 50% of all of the Raiders offense as a running back last year. And then Austin Eckler, star, perennial star. All of them have painfully underperformed. Jacobs is finally stepping up, but the first 4, Eckler has missed 4 games, 2 of the games lowest production of his career. Madison is now halfway to be sitting on the bench, and I'm just like, man. And so because my wide receivers were iffy, and I had Pat Fryermuth, rock star, trash until last week. I've already let him go because he was on IR. Anyway, long story short, man, I'm not paying attention to pro football much right
See,
now.
that's why I don't do the fantasy thing, right? Because like you actually have to be in paying attention, like what's going on. And I got too much going on to be sitting down watching the stats and checking every game to make sure. It's like, you know what? No, I'm all right. I'm okay. I'll
And I
enjoy
would have
it.
let it go a long time ago, bro. But real talk, I'm the only white guy in my league, and I can't go out like I can't.
Can't
I
go out
keep
like that,
losing.
man.
No, I gotta win. I will go for 20 years. I'm
Well, you're
about to
making
pay
someone
someone.
happy. You're
Yeah.
making someone happy. White boys finally losing. You know what I'm
Oh yeah.
saying? They've been on
Oh, we
top for the
joke about
longest.
it. I put in our little chat group the other day. I said, I swear on 8-pound tiny baby Jesus, I will win next year. And I put the little meme of Ricky Bobby going, dear 8-pound tiny baby Jesus.
Hey man, just do like any good white person does, bro. Just pay the money.
Yeah.
You pay the money.
See, I'm not a
You'll
good
get
white person,
wins.
clearly. So, but
Try
they
and get
don't
it out the
fire
mud.
me.
That's that black coming out you, man. That's that melanin coming out you. I'm gonna get it out the mud. Oh man, use that other side. Drop the check.
Which I'll tell you the joke offline I wrote. But anyway, it has to do with I'll tell you the words mud shark and gooey duck are in it. So that's I'll leave it at that and we'll move on. I'll tell you offline. So but
Draining.
anyway, uh,
Mm.
sorry. Uh real fast back to the Santos getting expelled. So the issue is people are saying now they're going to come after Gates, right? And McCarthy is clearly very salt. They are not buds. I mean, to
Right.
almost to the point of punching. McCarthy been fighting dudes practically in there. So now they're saying they're going to come after Gates, but I can clearly see how this would be an implosion of the Republican Party in the House and Senate. We're not holding the Senate, and the House to implode makes us all look. You know what I mean? Infighting makes you
Mhm.
look bad and takes confidence away, kind of thing. So what's your thought on that? And do you feel like it is maybe a plot or a plan? Do you feel like we get the right people in 2 years? And then I also wanted to ask you about term limits and shorter terms. I'm sorry, got all the. I'm
Hey man,
sorry,
we're,
man.
we're running. It's okay. It's okay. So I can see the play of them getting rid of Gates and really trying to implode Republic because you know, I know it. Frankly, the whole world knows it. Trump is coming back in 24, right? Like we all know that. And when he's on the ballot in 24, all the Republicans who are on the ballot with him are essentially going to get in there as well, right? They need to strip Republicans of House control right now so that they can at least try and get some things in while Biden is still in there, while they have what resemblance of control that they may have for this next year, right? They want to get rid of a Gates. They want to get rid of Santos. Um, I don't know anyone else who could have a possibly. But even if they got rid of Gates, all they're gonna do is get another Republican. Hell, if they get rid of Gates, Gates can get his ass back on the ballot to be reelected, and he will win. So like it'll be a wasted time because Gates country is Gates country. Like those people love Matt Gates. Where he's at. So they could try it. It will show that the rift, because there's a rift in the Republican Party. There's a true, people are calling it a civil war. I can agree with that because there's a fight. There's people like me who are, you know, MAGA right, but still centrist, if you would, that are in there. We're common sense people. We're more constitutionalists, if anything, that are coming in and taking over, our parties. We're getting in on the county level. We're getting in on the state level, and they see us, right? And they are scared because it's a threat. It's a major threat to the establishment. The establishment Republicans are just like establishment Democrats, man. They get in there, they party together, they caucus together. They may show us on TV that they fight, but really in the background, it's like Lindsey Graham and Kamala Harris right at the that certification of the election when they're, fist bumping, like, yeah, we got this. Like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And we're seeing that. And they know that we see it and they're scared. So they're
It's
trying to do
Triple
any
H
and
and Stone
everything.
Cold fist bumping after the wrestling match. Yeah.
Right, right. So we got to get past that. So they're trying to do what they can. I think they do want to try and gain whatever control of the House they can. The Santos thing is interesting because, he's in New York. So it could go any way. Matt Gaetz will be a problem. But I think there may be a few other Republicans in the House that are in a situation where they can get rid of them and kind of flip the seat to where they need it to be to get certain things through. I think one major thing that I am scared of them getting control of is Trump left marijuana on the table to be legalized or decriminalized, if you would. And I really feel that is a ploy that Biden will use, right? That's one of those break glasses in case of emergency situations that he will do to try and secure a Democrat win in 24. Outside of what is it, white lung now? We have the white lung disease that is coming over. So I definitely think that's a cap to win 24. Oh, guys, got to lock down again. We got this here mystery illness from China, So we have that. But there's things that they need to get done, to try and secure that. And I do believe that them trying to get rid of Santos, or succeeding in getting rid of Santos and trying to get rid of Gaetz and other people in there, that could be an issue. Could be a major issue. I think Republicans need to do better, though. Again, we need to find better people. We need to have people who aren't connected to, shady figures, if you would, not in office, right? They have to go. Those shady connected people got to go. And we need to get people who are I'm sorry, I just read Amy's comment. She's like, don't listen to that. Now I have to hear it. Now I have to hear the joke.
Oh, the joke about, no.
Yeah, now I have
to
hear
has
the
to
joke.
do with it has to do with single white women over 30 and
oh man, yeah, this is gonna be good. This is a good offline conversation. We'll save that.
Yeah,
okay,
I'll stop right there. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do it offline. Oh gosh. We're about to get canceled. First show, 55 minutes in, and we're already about to be canceled. But yeah, man, no, we definitely got to get rid of the shady figures and the shady money.
Absolutely. I agree. Which kind of, something I wanted to touch on is the I feel like right now we need to look at it like we're in a political Vietnam. And what I mean by that is, why did we quote unquote lose, which I don't think we were ever set up to. I don't know. We were never supposed to win, as we're never supposed to win anything we get into now. But the way Vietnam held us off was because no matter how much guns or helicopters or people we had, you can't go door to door. You can't go village to village, door to door, and force these people out of what's best for them. You can't do that. These people live their life in their community, and you can send one platoon, you can send two platoons, but eventually you're going to run out of people, and this is their land, and this is their ground to hold. Even politically, ideology. So, right now that's the idea is we take Savannah, we take Oklahoma. Oklahoma City's pretty easy at this. I mean, I'm in red country, but, I'm actually in the bluest, county in red country. So, but the idea is to get more open ideas, for what we're fighting for and what we need out there, and do it on as you were saying, throw a party. You know what I mean? Because, big government is pushing down, and it's like I said, when I kind of woke up, I was like, if you can give me a leftist argument that is not more money and more control for the government, Like at the end of every argument you have, it comes down to give more money and more control to the government. And if you can give me any argument that's not that, I'll consider it. But the problem is that's what we got. So, I love the idea of mobilizing, which was like a really hot topic in my head, but we've already pretty much covered it. So now we'll move on. Oh, okay. So one thing I did want to touch on the Floyd thing was past that part. I wanted to ask you about the fair trial part of it, right? I don't know if you are kind of aware of that part of it, but
he was never going to get a fair trial.
They basically said that he couldn't get a fair trial in Minneapolis. And during the actual trial, the jurors could hear people outside protesting and the riots. And they asked for a change of venue request. And the judge turned it down, saying he couldn't get a fair trial anywhere. So we're just going to have it here. Right. And that was touched on a little bit. And I wanted to get your opinion on that.
I concur. Unless they were going to ship everybody to the moon, you know what I'm saying, to have that that trial, there wasn't going to be a fair trial at all. You were going to have people outside wherever, like the riots during 2020. People were being bused to wherever they were to have those riots, right? You don't think that they would have been bused to wherever the venue was chosen for the trial to take place? The jurors were going to hear it regardless, right? This was a tainted trial from the beginning. Like, if you're going to tell me that you're an American, unless you live somewhere that doesn't have electricity and no access to internet, right? You knew what was going on with this trial, like, or well, this whole case, like it was everywhere. It was everywhere, right? They were going to convict him, and then on top of that, excuse me, they were going to convict him to save the country from burning. They had already burnt in the name of him before they went to trial, right?
Right.
Saying that he wasn't guilty. Everything was going to burn. Everything was going to burn. And they had to convict him just on that. And that's why Kyle Rittenhouse really got off, honestly. Like, even though he should have gotten off, like, Kyle should have gotten off. He clearly should have gotten off. But Chauvin getting off? Hell nah.
And he shouldn't. He shouldn't have. I just wanted your opinion on the fair trial, quote unquote, argument.
It wasn't going to be no fair trial. Wherever you went, they were going to be busted. And
I feel like there's like 1 or 2 counties in Mississippi. Maybe we could have.
Nope. Wasn't even going to happen. Wasn't even going to happen. Not at that time. Like, nah, bro. People wouldn't have cared at all. Like, I don't care if this Klan country. We about to show up in droves. Matter of fact, y'all think y'all gonna put this trial in Klan country and let him off and think we not gonna show up? Yeah.
Yeah, you had members of the KKK going, I may be racist, but geez, he killed that guy.
Right. He killed him, and they're going to kill us, right? Like, no.
I can't in good conscience as a racist let this man go. Oh, God, I hope nobody clips that. Okay, so...
I'm sure they will. Hey, man, that'll be good content. Where'd this come from? It came from this show. Y'all guys go tune in. Check it out.
Early days are fun. Before people know, before we're a real threat, before people have figured it out, early days we get away with a lot more because nobody cares right now. Right. So, speaking of nobody caring and controversial stuff, a little special segment we're going to be doing on our show called HJ Watch. You know what I'm saying? Keeping them honest. People we love, people we respect, people we work with. But I think there are a lot of people out there, if you pay attention to their chat and the rumblings here and there, everybody has a blind side. Everybody has a way to get stronger, opportunities. And we'd like to call some of that shit out.
The Hotep Jesus dude? I love that guy.
I love that guy. I wish everybody was Hotep Jesus.
I wish the black people were as smart as Hotep Jesus. And I wish the white people was as smart as Hotep Jesus. And I wish the Mexican people was as smart as Hotep Jesus. Because this guy just gets it. Shouts out to Alex Jones.
The king, Alex Mother Jones. Always.
Turn the frogs gay.
They're turning the freaking frogs gay. I love this country. I will not stand aside. I've been sweating since noon. I love it. He's the father of it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
We should have watched what they did to him. We should have watched, he's like, they're going to do it to you if they do it to me. And we were like, and it was 100%. But yeah, okay. So one of the issues I have, something we were talking about earlier that I thought was brilliant, and I think is a hole in the philosophy. They talk about building a Hotepistan. They talk about a place that is special and honest. But you brought up the Moors earlier, and I feel like one of their big things is heavy security, only selected people, nothing coming in or out that isn't approved. I mean, just
Mhm.
describing, I'm like, ugh. But no matter how good it is, it's still kind of, a little heavy there on the communism. But and he even talks about it jokingly that it's communist in a way. But I think the problem there is that if you shut out external ideas, you shut out the ability to travel, you shut out new ways of thought, whether it be technology, running water, if you will,
Mhm.
plumbing, you know what I mean,
Mhm.
interracial marriage, little things that are really good to allow society to evolve. If you shut those things out, it makes you less able to handle the future, and ultimately you collapse, like we're seeing or we've seen throughout history in communist countries. What's your thoughts on that?
I don't want to live in a North Korea. You know what I'm saying? And like when I hear
No
things
thanks.
like it definitely sounds like North Korea-ish to me, right? So as I often joke about in the chat, but I'm so for real, like I'll be outside. Call me. I'll be the Lord Peter Baelish, you know what I'm saying, of the area. Like I will own that house. So you guys aren't going to do what? Well, guess what? I'll own the bathhouse outside of the walls of Hotepistan. You know what I'm saying? Like 15 minutes down the road. And I'll hold that down. But no, man, like I think people there should always be some room for free thought, you know what I'm saying, to an extent. Not too much, libertarian, I'm gonna praise and pray to a unicorn free thought, but just, the space for open ideas to be able to bounce around. I'm all about free open state trade. Just blocking off. And I understand, Wakanda, if you would, right, where they were blocked off from the rest of the world, and America was the world was so scared of people finding out about them that even though all the superpowers knew they existed, we're not going to tell a single soul that they exist, right? We're just going to keep them off the map. We're not going to mention them. No one's going to know about them because they're too far advanced. Um, so I can understand that it kind of keeps your people safe, if you would, but at the same time, like it's real dictatorish, man. Real dictatorish,
Also,
right?
there's not the way white people think. If you have an amazing technology that's more advanced than everything else in the world, we are already plotting on how to steal it and or profit off of it. Seriously.
ASAP.
And white folk, come on, it's what we do, dog. I'm
Yep.
sorry, but
Yep.
it's
It's the white way of living, man.
yeah, I went to my wife's Christmas party on Friday night and I was plotting on how to steal the best dirty Santa gift. And I mean it. It's just who we are. I'm sorry.
Goddamn thieves, goddamn colonizers, man. You thieving ass colonizers, man.
It's like
But
vibranium. Let's put this in a video game where black people beat up other black people and call it awesome and not racist. What? Well, we gotta steal it from them first and make billions off of it. And then we're gonna make a
right.
rap song about how they should kill each other. And we're gonna use vibranium as the new CD style techno. Wait, what? This is all not good for these folks over here. Yeah, but we're
Doesn't
white.
matter. We're white and we're making money off of it. Besides, look, they're lining up to do it. So, why not, allow them to line up and do it? So, which is the other side of, hey, you know what? Maybe they're onto something with Hotepistan. Like if we can keep this inside and not have to be subjectified to, the white man making the money off of this, we'll make the money off of this. You know what I'm saying? We'll keep the people true. We'll keep them fair, which is like I said, I'm okay with it. It's like, you want to educate, you want to be in control of the kids, you want to make sure their education is on point. He made a point, in the Griff report this week of you guys are arguing about the books that you want to take out of the school. What about the books that you want to put in the school? Like we see the list of books you want to take out. What do you want to put in? That's a fabulous point. You know what I'm saying? Like we know that this needs to be removed. That's fine. But what do they need to be taught? What are we talking about actually putting into their minds, right? That's a good thing when you have a community like a Hotepistan to where, I'm saying, okay, this is where we're educating the kids. This is what we're not educating the kids. We're not giving them this whole sexual situation when it comes to kids. They don't need the whole sexual stuff. They're freaking kids. The only thing they need to know about sex is, hey, there's men, there's women. You're a man if you're a man, you're a woman if you're a woman, and sometimes in life, in order to procreate and actually keep civilization going, men and women come together and they make whoopee and create another man or another woman or another boy or another girl who grows into a man or a woman, and it goes that way. That's all they need to know, right? You don't need to tell them, ooh, this is how you masturbate. Ooh, this is what this is. Ooh, you're a little boy and you feel like you might like little boys. Well, this is what this is, and it's okay to do that. Like, no, first of all, that shouldn't even be your conversation. That is a conversation for mom and dad, for that kid to go and ask mom and dad or whoever the case may be. The only conversation you need to be having is biology.
Right.
XY, XX, here's an egg, here's a sperm. The sperm fertilizes the egg grows, and it produces into whatever, is being made. And it doesn't even have to be about, humans. You could talk about that through, animals. Chickens, dogs, whatever the case may be. You don't have to talk about it in humans.
Yeah, man, life science is amazing. I love the like, okay, so mammals, have babies the most similar to us, but
Mhm.
the way that a bird lays an egg is completely different. The
Yeah.
way that tadpole becomes you know what I mean, or what you call it becomes a butterfly. The caterpillar becomes a butterfly.
Right.
I'm highly educated, but
So
anyway,
that's what it should be, and that's how it is. So
yeah.
I can understand. Like I said, it's still some things that I don't want to happen. The whole block off thing, like, oh nope, you can't get this technology. Like, wait, what? It's all the rage.
Well, and I would say biologically, the issue there is that the Earth has proven that when you lock off your society, you become susceptible. I mean, simply, look at the plague. When a
Mhm.
society isn't exposed to something that the rest of the world is, and naturally builds it, whether it be animals, microorganisms, all the way up to us, considered to be top of the food chain. I think that, and hey, man, look, man, I don't believe in dinosaurs. I'll get real with you. I don't think, look, okay, let's just break that. This is not part of our thing, but I'll just break this down as far as education goes, man. You're telling me that, okay, we know for a fact that the Egyptians and the Incas and the Aztecs and the Asian folks, tens to, arguable, we'll just say tens of thousands of years ago, were excavating deep to build pyramids and stuff. These things go 30 and 40 stories deep. No
Shouts
one
out to
found any
Cannon. My
diamonds.
bad. I had to sorry to interrupt you. Cannon Hotep's in the building, man. Shouts out to Cannon over on Rumble. We can't see the Rumble chat, but I just logged in.
Yeah.
Cannon's over
Holy
there.
shit.
Yeah.
Wow. Celebrity in the chat.
Celebrity in the chat. That's
Salute.
bro, man. That's bro.
Yeah. But anyway, long story short, man, I don't think dinosaurs existed. What I think they are is if you look at all the hieroglyphics all around the world, right? Sphinxes, half dog, man body. Okay, in the Bible, the Great Flood, right? And it's just center people. No, giants. So I think there was a race of giant people, possibly aliens, that hooked up with animals. And if you look at hieroglyphics around the world, there are no pictures of dinosaurs anywhere, but there are tons of thick pictures of like sphinxes or dog head, man body, or man face, flying eagle body. So, and it's like, oh, well, they were inventive and imaginative. But
Mhm.
dinosaurs, no record of them anywhere until the 1800s. No, the bones we're finding are of the giant species and creatures that lived, that we clearly have pictures of left for us by these ancient civilizations, in my opinion. So anyway, that's as far as what books should go in the library. I think we should challenge narratives that are widely accepted, and not to get too goofy there. But
Like we
yeah,
didn't go to the moon.
yeah, which we did not. That was.
We didn't go to the moon.
It took me a while, but I almost got my girl convinced.
Hey, listen, it's simple. It's like, I want to say it was either we was listening, either it was on Cannon show or it was on Hotep show this week. I know it came from within Hotep Nation, right? Yo,
Mhm.
how in the hell was there no lag? There was no latency from the moon to the White House. There was no lag. Doesn't make sense to me, bro. Doesn't
Okay,
make sense.
let me break down. Answer these questions. and I'll possibly admit that we landed on the moon. Okay, one, how was a camera already there? Okay, how was from minus hundreds of degrees temperature to when you see the sun coming up to switching to thousands of degrees of heat? Did somebody be able to just chill? Right. Once again, camera set there, watching the landing. Who put the camera there? Then you get out, everything is fine, right? And then you pop back in, but who took the camera with them and who set it up to watch them go away? And how come there's no camera on the moon anymore? Okay, so then there's that. Now, past that, no other country has ever been to the moon. If you ask now, okay, so why did no other country ever go? It makes no sense to me, right? We have unmanned rovers, just like Mars. No other humans ever went. Now they will blatantly tell you we can't send a man to the moon because of radiation and because of radiation belts. But the guys who went to the moon did not die of cancer. They did not die quickly of cancer right after they came back from the moon. Some of them lived to be 80 years old, but now we can't send somebody. So when you answer those questions clearly, yeah, I think my wife said it was a different one because that one is too far out, but I don't know. She's the teacher. I don't.
But there's one we never broke through, and they admitted we never broke through it. There's a NASA engineer. It's on YouTube right now. Well, it was last on YouTube. I don't know. They may have taken it down now. But the engineer is talking. He was like, yeah, there's this belt. I think it's the Van Allen belt. We were never able to make it past. We're just now sending craft that we think can make it through this radiation belt so that we can actually get to the moon. It's like, wait, so you're saying we never passed it? We're just now sending craft that possibly can make it through and is unmanned. So how the hell did Apollo 11 get through? Like, it doesn't make sense. Then somebody like, oh yeah, it was we had a window. There was a brief window where we can actually escape through it, and then we came back, but we can't go no more because like all the technology and stuff was destroyed. So and then I'm like, wait a minute, so. Well, where's the black woman from Hidden Figures? That did the math for us to get through. Like, did she not have notebooks left, or did you destroy the notebooks when old boy went and destroyed the door for her to go and use the bathroom? Like, what happened? Shouts out to Cannon. Cannon says it was him and Jay that ran that clip this week.
Yeah.
So like I said, it came out. I knew we were talking about it, and that's things that we need to talk about. Like, guys, the U.S. government is far, far from being above reproach and lying to your black ass, to your white ass, to your Mexican. Like, they will lie and they will lie, and then they will do worse than that. Shouts out to Trump, because those his words too. Like, I mean, this is what these people do. So I don't know, man. We're dealing with a bunch of liars, and they need to go, and we need to open up the books. And I think when we open up the books, we'll find out. Okay, it was a Van Allen belt. Okay, yeah.
From the teacher, y'all.
And dude, I love science, right? Like science, especially space. Like, that was one of my favorite things in the world, man. Astrology, asteroids. It just didn't add up to me, even as a kid. Like, it just did not add up to me. That's just like, man. I'll never forget when JFK Jr. went down, right? JFK Jr. went down in that plane, and they sent the robot in the water to find the plane, and it went inside the plane, and I'm looking, it's like, yeah, footage from the plane, whatever, and they showed him, and I was like, boy, that's a dummy. Like, it literally looked like a mannequin, clear,
Yeah.
and I was like, never forget it. Boy, that's a damn dummy. And I was young, and my mom was in the room, and she was like, watch your damn mouth. I'm like, damn, I just said damn, and I hear you're telling me not to say damn using the word damn. Like, well, okay, you're my mom, so I'll get it. But it's like, I'll never forget that. So it's like, yo, these people will lie and play on whatever they have to do, you know what I'm saying, to get us to believe whatever. So, yes, I don't know about the dinosaurs, I am open to believe that those are the giant creatures, the giant versions of, what are now the little miniature versions. Like alligators.
Nephilim. Yeah. I mean, I don't know exactly what it is, but I don't believe that there were dinosaurs and that they were, because the Incas would have talked about them. The ancient civilizations would have been much closer in a timeline. There would have been something, right? But anyway, that's well, and another
asteroids. The asteroids took them out.
What changed me originally was I'm Oklahoma City, the bombing. I was a teenager. I think I was 14-ish at the time that the bombing happened. I remember I lived close enough to it that when it popped, I was sleeping in bed and I remember rolling. Like it sounded like a big pop, boom. And like I rolled out of bed, I was like, oh wow. But we live close to Tinker Air Force Base at the time. So you heard all kinds of loud, stuff. And then I remember it being the bombing. And then I remember driving by and looking at it. And I remember being like, there's no way a truck it doesn't make any sense that a fertilizer truck would do this. And you just saw how it didn't kind of add up. And then from there, you start looking and yeah.
Factory,
So
truck,
that was the first thing that made me question narratives. So, which we should question them all at this point, especially with white lung. Well, okay, so here's my question. You think they're going to come out with a new vax? What do you think the play is going to be? The vax and the boosters also work for white lung. So just take what you've had because it's tried and true. Do what you know.
I think it's going to be the tried and true thing. I don't think they're going to try another, what was it? I'm going to call it in a minute. God dang it. I'm having a brain fart. What was the thing? Warp speed. They're not going to have another warp speed, right? They're just going to come with the whole, hey, y'all, it's tried and true. It's going to work. It's funny. We took these people and they took the COVID vaccines that we had and they put it in the Petri dish and it worked. So since it worked, you guys, come on, you can use it. It's okay. Nah, I'm not with that shit, bro. I'm not with it. I didn't take it then. I'm not going to take it now. Straight pure blood in these streets, like...
I'm gonna be able to sell my seed for lots of money in a couple years. So
right.
Keep it pure. That's very fair, man. I wanted to touch on real fast. Speaking of silly shit, I wanted to talk on the Matt Rife controversy. I know we touched on it earlier. He's a stand-up. My background is in stand-up, and so I'm a big Jordan Peterson fan. Right? He was kind of the guy that really helped me get my life on track, just by following his information. And Justin said they can charge more for the vax because it's multi. You're damn right. And here's the cool part about it, Justin. They're not going to charge us. Vax is going to be free to us because government makes no money off us. So when they raise all of our taxes and we can't afford Thanksgiving dinner because of the quote unquote free vax that Pfizer got billions of dollars for, they're going to tell us they're doing us this service. So anyway, sorry, I didn't.
Oh, hey man, it's fine. Talk on it after this fourth cheapest Thanksgiving in history. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Your mama was the fourth cheapest, but anyway, not yours. Karine Jean-Pierre.
No, we're talking about Karine. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, man. So speaking of, we were talking about MAGA Dick last week. She's cute to me. You know what I mean? I don't like. I could turn her, man. I'd have her voting for Trump. Give me 1 week.
It's like AOC. Her and AOC, I put in the same booth. The same booth. Like, yo, just don't talk. Just be pretty. Don't talk. You are fine as all outdoors until you open your mouth, and then it's like, go. Just.
What's the redheaded one that's on MSNBC now that started out as his press secretary?
Circleback, Miss Jensen.
Oh yeah, Miss. If anybody needs a good hate F by a conservative man, I just am like, I know what you're missing, babe. I know exactly. Sorry, I'm being off color.
You need some MD 2020,
MD 20. So that's the hashtag. That's our new hashtag. MD 2020, yo.
MD 2020.
Yes. So anyway, so Matt Rife was on Jordan Peterson earlier. For those of you that don't know, but most people do, Matt Rife is a very popular comedian. In fact, I think the most watched comedian on YouTube in the past 6 months. He just released his Netflix special, and he's edgier. He comes out, he makes some domestic violence-ish jokes. He just says, there's like a woman with a black eye, and he's like, I bet you wouldn't have that black eye if you knew how to cook. And it's just some dirty, edgy crowd work. And I'll be the first to defend this in that this is where stand-up comedy lives, right? Stand-up comedy is the punk rock of all art forms, including punk rock music, because at least that gets glorified in a way. Stand-up, all it is words. There's no music, there's no writing, there's no real production. It's just me and my words and a microphone, and that's
it. It's Def Comedy Jam.
Yeah. Yeah. So, it's real easy to judge, right? Because there's nowhere to hide. What you said. It's that simple. So I'm for him on this, man, because whether I agree or disagree, it's about time that shout out to LS hitting us with a yo. Anybody that hits me with a big yo, got a shout out. But anybody that does that, man, I respect the edginess. I respect the fact that he's getting hated. If you Google Matt Rife, it's just basically, sexist piece of crap seals his fate as Manosphere It Boy by going on Jordan Peterson, trash human, blah, blah, blah. I don't think he's all that funny because I don't think he's old enough to be all that funny. I think it takes some years of life and some hardships. And my man is like maybe 21. So, and he is a good looking dude. Supposedly he appealed to women, and his whole thing is, I'm not just the hot boy comedy. Mark Maron went after him, which I think is bullshit, because Mark Maron is a guy who can call all Christians fascists, and that's totally cool and just within his comedy and not edgy. But as soon as Matt Rife makes a couple of edgy jokes and defends himself, they come after him for it. So I think it's so important that we allow people to say what they want to say. And to an even deeper point, from Trump gaining lots of acceptance, in minority neighborhoods and amongst historical Democrats, to music, people getting sick of this stuff, to now comedy, and not just edgy or fringy comics that you can kind of throw out there and go, this trash comic said this BS. But now the hottest dudes in the world are coming out and going, okay, enough of this woke crap. And I think that serves us well. And I kind of wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Definitely serves us well. It's going to happen more and more. Like, people are real. Like, you got Michael Rappaport, you know what I'm saying, coming out and saying, yeah, hey man, I want Trump. You got Cuomo, right? Andrew Cuomo, not Andrew. What's the other? Guido.
Chris.
You got Guido coming out, right, saying that hey man, I can live through a Trump presidency. I can take another Trump presidency. Like, these people are realizing, shit, man, it's real bad out here, So, like, more people are going to be willing and open to say, hey, nah, fuck that woke stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to come out and say this because it's gone too far. Like, we allowed you guys to get away with it for as long as you did, for the sake of political correctness and wanting to be invited to the barbecue and wanting to, make it to Thanksgiving dinner with the family. And now it's like, nah, bro, we done let this get entirely too far. We need to reel this back in some. So I'm going to speak the truth. I'm going to let you guys know that, nope, it was okay at first. I know what you guys were trying to do, but now we need this. We need some real life conservatism. We need Trump back. We need this money rolling. We need people who are going to be common sense. No more boys, and girl sports. That's the whole reason that we have women leagues, is because we're just genetically different, and it's okay. Let people, compete in the class in which they are meant to compete in. And to the point, if you guys want to make a trans league, make a trans league. If you feel like there's money in it, then go ahead and do your thing. If not, stay in your biological league. And everything is everything.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about anything at all from there. So, kudos
I'd watch,
to Matt Rife.
Right. I watch shout out. I would watch Trans League the same way I watch Fail Army. How great would it be? God, I want a Trans League so bad. I want trans everything league. I want an MMA trans. I just want the catastrophe that it would be, because it would be so awesome. And all the woke, like ESPN, they'd have to commit to it. So you would be watching these absolute catastrophe failures of sports, and they'd have to triple down and be like, yeah, this is great. This is what everybody wants. And you can just laugh.
Sitting in a burning house like, this is fine. Everything is perfect. Yeah, like, no, bro, it's not
this
perfect.
Is great.
It's not great. Like, whatever, But,
that's why I love Dana White, too. For the sake, he's like, men and women should never compete. Biological men and women, and I think that's one of the reasons that UFC is the fastest growing sport. And I love it.
Isn't there
I love UFC.
Fighter?
Not in UFC. Okay. Yeah, there's a couple, but they're in smaller. I don't think they're in any national leagues, because there's so many local. I mean, me and you could start an MMA promotion tomorrow.
Shit. So there's no competed or currently. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Fallon Fox. That's the one that I'm
Yeah,
thinking of, but never made it to UFC. Okay. Yeah.
yeah, no, well, never.
Yeah,
That
that's
was the one
crazy.
that Joe
And
Rogan. Yeah.
great for them. Great for them. And I hope that, Bud Light didn't, stick them with the, all right, now you need to, we'll give you $500 million, but you need to open up and let Fallon fight in a fight. Let Fallon fight a dude.
You you will never. I can tell you, you will. Look, like I said, he is probably one of Trump's closest friends. And at the last pay per view in New York, he made sure him, Tucker, Kid Rock, this is Dana White, Trump, and my wife is like, "You have such a man crush on Dana White," and I'm like, "You're damn right I do." Like, she's like, "You probably let me marry Dana White." I'm like, "I would just be jealous, and I wouldn't marry Dana White." uh, yeah, no, that's what we're talking about. LS, it's not a turncoat. It's
Mm-mm.
actually awesome. We want that $100 million from Budweiser. If you look, I highly recommend everybody follow Sean Strickland. He's a 185-pound champ in the UFC, and he is as based as he's offensively based, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he is like, okay, Bud Light, you have to pay me now. I'm going to come out. I'm going to say that men should not cut off their dicks. I'm going to come out and that kind of thing. And I'm going to come out and be pro Trump. And that's the thing. The largest multi-billion-dollar sporting organization on the planet, the owner, the CEO, the brainchild behind that is best friends with Trump. And then they got $100 million from the guys that were supporting the other side. And that money is only flowing one way when it's that much money. So I actually think it was a win for Dana White to take that money because now Budweiser has to support a very based, very pro-Trump organization.
Okay. Let me. So something did happen recently. I don't know. As we're talking about it, I'm thinking, um, yeah, 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 yeah. So UFC is publicly traded now.
Yeah. They bought WWE.
No, they went in together under TKO. They're owned and operated by TKO Group Holdings, which is a subsidiary of Endeavor Group Holdings.
Drew Rosenhaus. No, that's the guy. Look it up. The
I'm
guy that
I'm
Jerry
I'm
Maguire was based on. Seriously,
okay.
this is the guy that the Jerry Maguire movie was based on. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, see, I'm in here now. What is this? Will Morris Endeavor. Let me see. April 2009, Will Morris Agency and Endeavor Talent Agency announced that they were forming Will Morris Endeavor, or WME. Um, Ari Emanuel.
Oh, Ari, not Drew. Ari, I'm so sorry.
Ari
Damn it, I get those
Emanuel
two guys.
and
Yeah, no, Ari,
Patrick
Ari.
Whitesell. Mm-hmm.
Ari is
Uh,
to sports what Lear Cohen is to hip hop. It's in my opinion, if you want to know. And
that
he is
part.
so powerful now. Ari Emanuel is one of the most powerful. Yeah.
So now Ari Emanuel is now if you would, the true owner of UFC. Vince McMahon and Dana White are just figureheads.
Well, fair enough.
Of
Ellis says
the
Dana White slapped his
situation.
wife. I'm not going to get into an argument here. Dana White slapped his wife after she slapped him. There were no marks on her whatsoever. And the very next week, he launched Slap Fights. So if you Googled Dana White slap, guess what came up? His brand new $1 billion investment called Slap Fights. There were no marks on her. It was a big hustle. It was a play. They were in Mexico together on a husband wife outing. She slaps
Mm.
him first. He slaps her back. They laugh and continue to have drinks. And there are no marks on her whatsoever. And not for nothing, but Dana White is a big dude on TRT. If he slapped a woman full force, she would have a black eye or a bruise. However, she had nothing. They laughed about it and there was no problems because he wanted you Googling Dana White slap because slap fights, which I
Yeah.
love. So,
And I mean they're both athletes. I think she's a fighter as
yeah.
well or something of that nature, right?
Former, yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like it was the perfect marketing play. Like as you
It
just
was
said,
brilliant.
it was
Yeah.
freaking brilliant, yo. And I am not for, slapping women. I'm just going to put that out there. I don't believe in putting hands on it because I'm a girl dad and I have a sister and I have a mom and I got a lot of pew pews. All right, so I am not about that life.
Amy.
However, if a woman gets with a man, be it her man or whoever, and says, "Hey, listen, we about to make some money. I'm gonna slap you. You're gonna slap me." That's gonna be the perfect marketing to this slap. This is crazy that the slap league is going bananas right now, and people been doing that for years, right? There have been these slap contests going on for the longest. So now they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna monetize this,
Well, it's
and we're
smart.
gonna make
Okay,
money."
so and he stays on Rumble, and he hasn't tried to put it on which he can put anything he wants on a cable channel. He could go to
Hmm.
any lesser streaming and go, "I've got this show, you air it," and people would lose their shit and be like, "Hell yeah!" Um, he keeps it on because the brilliance of it is we're in this viral era, just the knockouts, right? I watch you like last night. I spent 3 hours watching UFC, right? But what does everybody want? Those knockouts. So you might spend 15, 20 minutes or go 4 or 5 fights. They go the distance, no knockouts. With slap fights, you're damn near guaranteed 2 or 3. Boom, amazing viral moments every match, right?
Yep.
So he's brilliant. He's like, let's just go viral. I sell the viral advertising. We all make money. Done.
Is
My
what it
favorite
is.
silly part about it is these are poor dudes. If you look, everybody in slap fights, these aren't like, I mean, these dudes, they take them, I mean, you know what I mean? Living in 3 bedroom houses, 3 kids, that kind of thing, driving Hyundais and shit, and dudes, I work on a log truck. I work at Home Depot. And this is their shot. And even if their shot is just 50 grand a year to get slapped 4 or 5 times a year, sign me up.
So
I
yeah,
just feel
right.
good.
They're doing that. I'll
Yeah,
take that pass out. You guys gonna catch me if I fall out, right? Okay, good. Let's go. My boy Leroy says Ray Rice's wife's spit on him and she admitted it. That's see the difference in that is that's a domestic violence situation that was put out on Front Street as opposed to a couple who seemingly came together and said, "Hey, we're gonna make this play, and we're gonna get paid, bit."
we gonna get paid on it. By the way, Cannon Hotep has entered the YouTube chat. Pew, pew, pew,
Yeah.
pew.
Oh, I got you. 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 Hit the horn.
Yeah.
Shouts out
Salute
to my
to the
dog
man.
Cannon, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you, sir. Thank you. And you know what? That's a brilliant idea. They should remake Over the Top, but with slap fights. Hell yeah, they should.
That would be
Let's
awesome.
go. Let's produce it, man. I'm calling my people right now. Let's go.
Hey, man, it was already put out, man. That Hotep Nation need to start producing films.
Yeah. Well, man, now that the pendulum is swinging, I might be able to work again in TV. It'd be great.
Hey,
For
man,
those
look,
of you who
it's
don't
all
know, I
about
had a little
us.
TV show. Yeah, had a little TV show back in the day called Man versus Bar. Went around to bars drinking, Hawaii, LA area. So, and then I've been a working comedian. Pretty much retired past couple years. I do shows here and there, but I was on the road and doing that shit for 12 years. So, yeah, man. So, and
You
it's
guys ever, if you ever want to uproot, and try something new, come on down to Georgia, bro.
oh man,
Savannah's a good place to go.
bro, we already got okay, so you're a DJ. I'm the baddest MC on the planet. We're gonna put together the Rumble on Rumble tour featuring
Okay.
Fresh Making Protocol. You know what
Hey,
I'm
man,
saying?
I'm with
We
it.
can put Cannon Speaks on it. I'll come out, do some comedy, you play up, you know what I mean? We do a little Q&A. We bring out some of our favorite comedians, musicians, whatever. Man, we gotta look.
Bro, we about to go out. We about to go out with a bang, man. If the country's going down, we're going out swinging. You know what I mean? Like, we in this thing.
Speakeasy to the stadium. We doing it, you know what
We
I
doing
mean?
it
So
big.
man, so hit me. Speaking of that, um, man, I might get in trouble. Let's talk about it. So, Strong Dad, aka Black Hotep, had kind of talked a little bit, and I know you said you wanted to touch on it about entertainment and about kind of how entertainment is run, uh,
Hmm.
who's influencing entertainment, how it's controlled, all of that stuff. And I kind of wanted to just leave that kind of broad and general and let you attack and allow me to maybe ask you some questions and go deeper on that. But what was your thoughts on what he was saying about how he feels like maybe the entertainment industry is kind of locked out, or it is what it is and there's no hope?
So I'm a little biased in that because, again, I've been in entertainment 19 years, if you would. I started throwing parties when I was in high school. I started DJing once I got to college, and then I started my own entertainment company in 2008 and have been on since then. Um, it has taken a major shift, right? So you did have the small hats who does have major control of the entertainment business, the entertainment field, especially, black entertainment. And a lot of our people just want to go get the check. They want to get their mama out the hood. They want to get out the hood themselves. They just want the money to do whatever it is. Buy the nice car, buy the nice house, get the girls, get the jewelry, whatever the case may be. They just want to live the life that is not normally afforded to them as they know through other means. Um, so, they were controlling. I feel though now with the advent of the internet, when you have outlets like Rumble, outlets like TikTok, outlets like um oh man, DistroKid, where you can get your music put out there, when you have Spotify, I have an internet radio station. When you have, providers where you can start internet radio stations, we don't have to do things like we normally do it. So yes, we did have people who were in control, but now we're in a position where we can create our own lane. We can put it out to our people and we can get it out there. People are always looking for new music. They're always looking for that new viral moment. So as long as we start producing what we want to be seen, what we want to be heard, easily, easily can take over. People aren't listening to the radio like they used to listen to the radio. People are streaming now. So if you give them something worth streaming and you're putting it in the face and everything, starts locally and then branches out, it can easily be done. It was mentioned that, hey, maybe we shouldn't focus on entertainment because, entertainment is ran by these people and we more so need to focus on skills, focus on jobs and getting our people into that and don't worry about entertainment. I say focus on both. I say get the skills, right? Teach the skills because we do need those people with those hands-on skills. We need plumbers, we need carpenters, we need people doing coding. We need all of this. But at the same time, do the entertainment too because when people get off at the end of the day, they want to relax, they want to unwind. So we need to give them the entertainment that we want them to unwind to. Hell, not even so much as getting off. During the workday, people are listening to music. People are listening to podcasts. They're listening to streams. They're doing all of this. So give them what you want to have in their intake. The road is wide open for us to come in and replace this horrible stuff with something good. People are tired. Like, people listen to Sexy Red, but they're tired of Sexy Red. You know what I mean? People
Yeah.
listen to NBA Youngboy, but they're kind of tired of NBA Youngboy. They want different. So the problem is a lot of us won't step up and say, no, we listen to this and this is cool and this is what we're pushing out. I think that we can do that. So I am on the side of, hey, we can do both and I will do both. You know what I mean? I'm going to do both. That's why I have my internet radio station and I'll put these good artists that I want people to hear on it. That's why I have a festival monthly where I open up the stage for good artists to go to. And people are opening up. They're to the point now they're realizing, like, at least here locally, I can only speak on what I do and can do locally. There's only one, maybe two clubs for artists to go and perform at.
Yeah.
But we have millions of tourists that come through and hundreds of parks and squares in our city where you can do some clean music and we can put you out here in this park in this square and you can perform to all these people who are coming to Savannah who will take you in because they want a piece of Savannah. You have a good product, they're going to listen to you. They're going to buy your merch if you have merch. They're going to subscribe to your page. They're going to follow you. They're going to like you. And now you have expanded yourself outside of your city because this person's from Oklahoma, this person's from California, this person's from New York. They have their own people that follow them and listen to them online. Oh, damn, that's good music. That's in Savannah. Oh, I'm finna go like this page. It's simple. It's easy. It's work, but it's
Yeah.
simple and it's easy. That can definitely work if you put in the ground game. A shameless plug. We have an event coming up in February. Man, I just got tapped to jump on where we're looking for teen artists. Right. You create what you want to see. So now we have this, this talent show where we're looking for clean artists. Got to have clean music. Got to have great substance to it. Got to have good context, and we're going to put you on. All right, we're gonna let you
Yeah.
perform on stage, and then we're gonna push you out. And these kids want to be artists. So if you say, "Hey, we got the studio for you to record. We're looking to put you out in places in Savannah, maybe do a little tour around the southeast, wherever the case may be, but you got to do clean music." What they gonna say? Nah, man, I'm not gonna make no clean music. Why not?
G- w- Aren't you in are you you get to that point where do you decide you're going to be a starving artist or a working professional,
Mhm,
especially in music?
mhm,
And to kind of bring that back, you were talking about people should focus on education. As this might surprise everybody, but I was a hyperactive child. Go figure. I
mhm.
was an ADD level kid.
What you
So
do?
no way. Yeah, I mean, I grew up in the era of Cookie Crisp, right? So you give a kid a bowl of chocolate chip cookies and then go tell him to sit quietly for 8 hours. Brilliant.
Good luck.
Uh, but if it weren't for the guitar, it was something that helped me learn to count. It was something that helped me
Mhm,
learn to read music, which clearly helps you learn to read and to interpret and to look at something. And then you're using your brain to interpret and then using your hand and you're counting, you're learning math and numbers and a lot of stuff is in different languages, but the idea there is a lot of hyperactive kids don't learn the best by just sitting and staring at a teacher telling them stuff. And a lot of times you can put a drumstick or a guitar or a saxophone or an oboe or whatever into a kid's hand. They will learn math and science and reading so much more effectively. Now you can call that entertainment or whatever. And side note, you say, why can't we do both? One of the best bass players I know is a Maytag repairman. He works as a repairman. That's his day gig, taking care of his babies. But
mhm.
he's fire on the bass guitar. He's one of those dudes you can say, play James Brown, now play Led Zeppelin, now play Cannibal Corpse, now play Garth Brooks, and he's just, and he just holds it all right there in the pocket. So yeah, man, I just think it's something that you can learn to help with education. And then what's
Mhm.
cool about that is there'll be people that are special that have a special talent in that. And people will be willing to pay organically to see this person play. And it will make them happy. It'll make them relate. It'll make them feel better. It will create those moments. So yeah, man. And once again, as far as the industry goes, the whole thing before was I got to get signed. You came up probably in the era too of we got to get signed, we got to get more money from the record label, that kind of thing. And now it's no, man. It's let me build a strong enough, cost effective studio where I can create my own product.
Mhm, mhm.
I was going to ask you, are there? I bet there's some badass theaters in Savannah,
We got some pretty
small
dope
theaters.
theaters. Yeah, we got
Yeah,
some
man.
pretty dope theaters.
Those are my favorite. The 3 to 400 seat theaters are
Mhm.
my favorite gigs, man, because just on a personal, you get to taste what it's like to play the nicer play. You get the curtain and the stage. But at the same time, if you get 100, 200 people there, it's not costing your promoter money. And as
Mhm.
promoters, we know it's a give and take on that. So,
It sure is, man. Look, I just want to break even. I would love to make money, but as long as I can break even, I am happy. I don't want to go out losing money and paying for this here venue and paying for marketing and paying performers, man. That can get really costly.
yeah,
That
man.
can get really costly. And that's why it's great, to be in a nice tourism city. It's just a matter of getting with the hotels, getting with concierges and tours and transportation people and getting your information out. You know what I'm saying? It's good. Like the advent of Uber and Lyft is really good, because you got a lot of people who do Uber and Lyft. So you get these Uber and Lyft drivers, and a lot of them have conversations with people and just, step them some flyers or some information, and they're talking, and, hey, this is going on tonight. Oh, word. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You should check this out. How long you guys in town for? What are you into? Like that type of thing, man. And it gets people in the buildings.
Absolutely, absolutely. And once again, internet going viral, all of that works. Bus. I was cruising through town the other day and I saw advertisement for a movie on a bus. I was like, "That's
Mm-hmm.
brilliant!" Because I'm sitting here, I'm stuck looking at this advertisement, and yeah, I think a lot of people miss that. Also, creating your own business plan. I think a lot of people don't understand that what you do is a product, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you create 4 songs and you have a little EP, you're trying to package and sell. If you're a comedian, you need to do your little 3, 4 minute clips and understand you're selling this product. You're now a small business owner, and the business is kind of you. And until you get agents and managers who understand that better, you're your own agent and manager trying to
Mm-hmm.
find those people to rep you or to build to a place to where you can pick somebody and go, I can be profitable for you, and you understand things in a way that I need, so you be my manager, and I'll give you, a certain amount of money. And sponsorships, right now, man, I want those. I want that Birch Golds.
Right. Them sponsorships are key, man. Them sponsorships are key. That's really where a lot of money is right now, and it doesn't even have to be like big business sponsors, right? Just some, a nice little $1,500 sponsor from a local business or someone. Hey man, just put this logo down in your corner, or wear this T-shirt, or say this. Like, that's the move right now, and people will do it. Even for artists, like, you're doing music videos or whatnot. You're going out and doing shows. Hey man, do me a favor, man. I got $500 for you, man. Put the shirt on like at a couple of shows, or wear this in your video. Who wouldn't want to do that? All I have to do is wear this, and you're gonna give me this? Oh, okay, cool.
Well, that's
marketing for them.
Fighters are brilliant at that, because they sell, for my boys that fight, it's $200 for your logo, and they blow you up all over their internet. They're going to give you 2 free $60, $80 tickets to the fight, good tickets. And, and then your company goes on their shorts, your company goes on their robe. And, I love that type of thing, because you're legit supporting a dude who's busting his ass to try to follow his dream, and he's putting himself literally on the line. I think for what we do, man, and in getting bigger, you've got these companies now that I think they're going to come around, and it's great to advertise with a Tim Pool, and it's great to advertise with a Joe Rogan, but those guys can price themselves out of the market. But we do have a lot of these smaller conservative businesses. Heck, man, I'll be honest, as a small business and what we're doing, and not to toot a horn here, but I just feel like with what we have and dialing in the product, and as we do that, man, I'm gonna, I want to hit up the what's it called? Hold on, I have the app. The companies, it's the directory of conservative companies. Hold on, it is Public Square, the Public Square app, right? And you hit them up and you go, hey man, I've got a podcast. We'd love to represent you. Because Public Square is a list of, as a guy who's come from small business sales, Public Square is a list of leads. And I'm like, the cool thing is, it doesn't matter whether you're in, Minnesota, Southern California, Oklahoma, Atlanta. It doesn't matter where you're at. The cool thing is, we're going to go there, and we can bring you there with us. And it's like, the great thing about it is we have these little, $500, $1,000, $2,000 packages. And the key is, I would rather have 500 engaged audience members that will get the clicks, and if they like the product, try it out at a maybe 10% conversion rate, than have 5,000 not engaged followers and the sponsors get nothing back. And I think that's how we build is, for lack of a better term, Joe Rogan in the fleshlight. It's that simple. Now he won't come within 1,000 feet of a fleshlight. I mean, except for the one in his dresser drawer. But
it's amazing, man. It's amazing the way that.
But he built the fleshlight. The fleshlight built him. It was the money he made off that allowed him to build his first studio. So I love the idea of sponsors, man. And then I know we're getting late and wrapping up. I want to leave on kind of a fun but interesting topic, and that is my man, my boy, my homie, Vivek Robert Ramaswamy.
Rob Salami.
Rob Salami.
Slabo Manabis. That guy.
He's like the Rob Schneider of politics. It's like, okay, you're there and we're not mad about it, but do you really need to be? Like Rob Schneider and all Saturday Night Live. Anyway, it's funny because I was watching like I said, me and my wife were watching the new Survivor, and there's like 3 lawyers on there, right? And one is a black woman, and she's like, she's hiding it that she's a lawyer. And I'm like, see, Tracy Morgan ruined that for me, because whenever I see a black woman say I'm a lawyer, I just see him doing Star Jones on SNL, and he's like, I'm a lawyer. I'm like, Tracy, you ruined that for me. So, but anyway, sorry, that was a side note. But what are your thoughts on Vivek, man? Like, okay, I'll leave. I want to love him, right? I want to love him, right? Like, it's like that chick, and you're like, she's single, but she's banging 4 dudes. She's in the clubs all the time. You know what I mean? She's got 2 kids that she really doesn't take care of. She doesn't have a day job, but her nails are always done. You know what I mean? I want to love her, but I feel like there are things there that might make this a bad relationship.
Very
But I
bad.
want to love her. She's hitting all the buttons though. When I see her, I'm like, So that's how I feel about Vivek right now. You know what I mean? On a political level. What are your thoughts?
Um, I felt that about him in the very beginning. He just didn't pass the spell test, though. It was like, you know what? You're dangerous. You seem like the guy I want to deal with, you know what I'm saying, as far as politically concerned. I would love for you to be the guy who, went in there with Trump, whatever the case may be. However, bruh, your history, Mr. Soros fellow, and he's like, "Oh, I was the son, and I wasn't attached to the Soros. You're a Soros fellow, sir. You're attached. I don't care what you say. You're attached. So that's strike one. Strike two is everything that you had to do with the COVID vaccine. Okay, you're attached to the COVID vaccine. You got paid off of your developments with the COVID vaccine. Strike number two. Strike number three. Dude, you are the red dot Barack Obama. That's what
Oh
you
yeah.
are. You're coming at you. I mean, there's clips of him saying the same things that Obama said. And it could be the point of he has Obama's speechwriter. Could very well be that. But who wants that? We want the opposite of that, right? Point number four. Like this, he has more than 3 points. It's like, dude, I am writing major list of very big flags that are fire red. They are fire red, and they're not even triangle flags, right? These are full on rectangled flags here that I have a problem with, Mr. Vivek Ramaswamy. Like, it's not gonna work, man. You seem like you could have been a great dude, but like more and more I see the plant in you. You know what I'm saying? You talk well, you're a great orator, but I see the plant in you. And it kind of freaks me out. That's at the end of the day. So
Okay,
I'm not a
so
Vivek.
no, I'm with it. I'm listening.
Not a Vivek man. Like, just put him in the slap league,
Okay,
damn it.
so yeah, but put him in this against Barack. Let's see who comes out gayer. Anyway, the point is, sorry. Okay, man. So fair. Alex Jones. He had Alex Jones on his podcast, right? Do you just think it's that deep? And Alex has become that much a part of our lexicon that is one of the. I mean, I kind of get it in that if you were a plant, if you were going undercover, the best way to be undercover is for no one to think you're undercover, or if they do, you do something so big on the other side. There's like, I'm killing a cop, even though I'm undercover cop. It's like there's no way he's undercover. He killed a cop, right? So it's like there's no way he's a plant. He's talking to Alex. He's kicking it with our king. So if you will. Um, so yeah, and I can understand some of the things. Soros thing, not that's a real hitch in the giddy up, right? I can understand as far as COVID vaccines kind of go in that if that's your job, right?
Mm-hmm.
Say I'm a computer programmer and I'm a high level dude and I've worked my ass off to get to a high level computer programmer and I'm working on a fix for a bug that could take all of the power grid's electricity of America out. And I'm working on something to fix that. But then we find out it releases another virus that pulls all your personal information and sends it to China. Maybe we kind of knew that, but screw it or whatever. But it was still my job to work on it and work and play that game. That I can kind of see. But then this is why I like talking to you, because as I'm defending myself, I realize how weak the defense is. And how I'm not holding it. I'm like, okay, bro, it's not holding. Like your little pushback is not okay, fair.
Appreciate the pushback, but it's like, yeah, like dude, like, yeah, you're right. I understand you wanting to fix this, because that's your job, but you're appealing to the people, to the base vast majority of people who are like, F that vaccine.
Yeah.
So essentially, it's F you. All right. Because they're saying F that vaccine, and you are a major part of the whole vaccine play. And you're coming to them telling them, hey, man, I need your vote. I'm here for you. We're on the same page. Well, dude, you got Soros money and you created a vaccine. There's no way you could be team me if you have Soros money and you created a vaccine, right? So it's like, I hear you. I want to believe you. I really do. But I can't look past this guy. Sorry.
If it walks like it's one of those don't believe your lying eyes kind of things, right?
Right.
So, and man, yeah, honestly, to me, I feel like, see, I get the play, right, and kind of being, in behind the scenes entertainment, I get the play of, okay, we're gonna get a dude who has all the conservative values, but rebel conservative, like he's kind of a Trump MAGA idea guy, and he's gonna
Mhm.
walk in charisma like Barack Obama. We're gonna put those two things together with a guy who has all the backing of Soros and billions of dollars in the pharmaceutical industry. Then we're going to get the Republicans behind him. That's a motherfucking slam dunk.
Yeah.
That's it. That's how you
That's a
right.
Manchurian candidate if I ever heard one.
Fair enough, man. Is there anything you want to leave the people with?
Man, y'all have a good week. Don't fall the don't believe your lying eyes. You know what I'm saying? When you see things, question it. There's nothing wrong with questioning it. Educate yourself more and more on everything that it is that you do and every day that you walk. Make sure you hit the like button on this video if you're enjoying this conversation. Please share it with a friend or two. It'd be much obliged. And subscribe to both pages, man. We're on YouTube. We're on Rumble. Make sure you hit us with that. And it'd
We're
be
on
much,
Facebook,
much
but
obliged.
we're on Facebook, but I like to keep that just for the real ones. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Keep that on the D. Everybody on the Facebook, that's the real ones.
Yeah. I didn't even, so tonight I chose to go live on YouTube and Rumble. I didn't even go on my Facebook. I'm going to share the video, share the link on Facebook and push people over there. Because, ultimately this is the Rumble on Rumble. So ultimately
Yes.
we want to be on Rumble. That's where we want this to land. So make sure you guys go to the pages, hit the like button, hit the subscribe, hit the follow button. Have a great week. We will see you guys next Sunday, of course. And also, through the week, Friday night flights every Friday night. Check your boy out. I'll be there. Sign on the PT Pod, man. I don't know their schedule. Mike can fill us in, but when I see that notification pop up, I'm in there. So
We go live Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Central, and then we do a little edited, kind of cleaner version. We drop on Wednesday if you just want something to listen to as you live your life. Not as informative, very light topics. A lot of times we'll have fighters or comedians on, and we're just talking about fights or comedy because, sometimes people need a little break. They just want to, be inspired or have a laugh. And so that's what we try to bring with that one. And I'm so blessed to be able to work with you on this one, man, because wow, this is so awesome. I'm a blessed brother. But thank you guys so much. Thank you, Protocol. Please, Friday Night Lights, but he drops so much knowledge. Friday Night Flights, excuse me, on Rumble, Protocol. Check it out. The cool thing is it's recorded. So you want to listen to it right now, you can go hit play and enjoy it right now and hit that like and subscribe as well. Yes, we'll see you next Sunday. Man, thank you again. I hope I did a good job for you.
Hey man, we good, man. This is awesome, man. This was a great first night, man. Great first night on Rumble, man. Number 1 is in the books, guys. Number 1 is in the books.
We will see you next week. Thank you and good night.
Peace out.